you never have to get ready. Is that like the saying?
Yeah. If you're always ready, never get ready or whatever. I don't know.
Something like that. Welcome
Well, starting
everybody
on
to welcome everybody to the N-Word for Nerd podcast. I'm your host, Corny J, sitting here again with my talented, ultra knowledgeable, and I feel like this show is going to be a lot of hate being thrown. So I want to get people prepared early. We're going to start off with my co-host, the Duke of Nerds, Jason himself, and I got some comments that I got on the site that people were giving you all the love for your Star Trek rankings, and I was surprised. I didn't really think, because I know nothing about Star Trek, so I just figured, it was just, y'all just as favoritism. But no, everybody was like, these were great points being made. No one's ever broken down Star Trek captains this way, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll relay the message. So, Jason, how's it going today?
It's another day in paradise.
And as always, we're bringing them back for a second time because it's twice as nice. And, when you do it one time, that's like the warm-up set. You ever been with somebody and you're still kind of nervous and you just don't want to mess it up? By the second time, you can kind of let it be free and hang out. So we figure this time, Jared's going to let it be free and hang out. What's going on, Jared? How you doing, man?
Hey, guys. Great to be back.
Not
all
too
right,
free, though.
so,
I don't want to see anything weird.
So, as always, if anybody's watched the first two episodes, we always start off every single show with a list, whether top 5 or rankings or something like that. So, if you watch episode 2 all the way to the end, we said this episode we were going to go with our top 5 avatars and from the series Avatar: The Last Airbender or, The Legend of Korra, but our top 5 avatars. So, I didn't know if anybody wanted to volunteer to go first or you want to just throw all that heat on me for the first one. All right, Jason's hand is up. So, Jason, top 5 avatars. Let's go. Starting from 5 to number 1.
5 to number 1? Oh, I was going to go backwards and go 1 to 5. Okay,
let's go 1 to 5 then.
We'll go to 5 to number 1. That's fine. Number 5 is Aang. He is my last pick. And here's the reason why. Aang was one of the only avatars who's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be an avatar. And because of that, there was 100 years of war and genocide. So there you go. And also Aang's villains, all he did was really fight the Fire Nation. The Fire Lord was basically his main villain. There was not really anybody that was really like, other than Zuko, who wasn't really a villain after a while. Like there's really nobody that really like pressed him as much. It was just like
Azula
that was really more like Zuko's thing, man. That was really more like Zuko's thing. That's his sister. And either way, Aang's number 5. That's right.
Okay.
Number 4 would be Roku. He's the one that ended up starting that 100-year war because he was too much of a bitch to not tell his friend to stop doing shit. And he died. So number 5, number 4.
He did tell him. And he threatened him.
Number 3. Where are we at? Number 3?
Yep,
we're at number 3. We're at Juan, 5, 4, your first avatar. Dude's a fucking badass. He had no other avatars to fall back on. He didn't know what he's doing. He had to go around the world and unite all the powers himself. Find Rava, and get him inside of him and all that other good stuff. And actually, I can't remember what's the other Batu. Yeah, that's the other demon's name, Batu, and lock him away for 10,000 years or however long they're supposed to be locked away. So Juan, total badass. He's number 3. Number 2, it's going to be some controversy here. I mean, I guess already controversy. I put Aang last. But number 2 is going to be Korra. Korra been through some shit. Korra went through a lot of shit, all right? Yeah. She had PTSD. She had world-ending demons. She had to fight people that wanted to rid the world of benders and take over the Earth King and all sorts of stuff. She's number 2 because she never gave up. She dealt with her demons. She dealt with all sorts of struggles that many people nowadays still struggle with. Mm-hmm. And she was able to overcome and, get the job done anyway. And number 1 is going to be Kiyoshi. Simply the straight up badass avatar. She freaking made an own island. She freaking, was one of the first to lava bend. Also, people followed her and she created a warrior group of girls who can take on avatars by themselves without any bending powers. She's an absolute badass, absolute just legend. Number 1 in my book. There you go. Aang's 5. Sorry. Sorry, Mom. I know Mom's.
All right, Jaren, give it to me.
All right. So we're going 5-1. All right. So 5 is going to be Yang Chen. She was the airbender that Aang talked to on the back of the lion turtle, and she shows up a lot in the comic books. But she practiced what she preached. She devoted herself to the world at the expense of her spiritual being, and as a result, created a big imbalance that avatars that followed her had to fix as far as the spirit world was concerned. But she did a great service to the physical world, and she was dedicated to it in her entire run. So she's number 5 for me. Probably, I guess I would go with Juan next. I love Avatar Juan. He's great. But you're right. As far as like, he didn't have the rest of his lives to look back on. So he was true grit when it comes to like, he was writing everything down for the first time. He was the one that started it all. So I mean, he couldn't look backwards. He couldn't reference anything. Kiyoshi, phenomenal for number 3. Strong, makes her own island, which means she was earthbending at a point where she was reaching into a tectonic plate. You know what I'm saying? Like she was the real deal. I agree with the Kiyoshi Warriors. They're fantastic, and anybody that can engender that kind of following, I 100% agree with. And then I'm going to put Korra up next. Korra she went through I don't want to echo the same sentiment. She went through a lot. Most of it was the studio threatening to cancel her show every season. So, she didn't get that overarching story through quite a bit. And then I'm going to put Aang at number 1, and not because of, I guess, not for fan service, not because of why you would think. If you look back at the history of all the avatars prior to him, for the last, 300 avatars, nobody really did anything different. They learned new stuff. And I mean, they refined their craft, but Aang was the first one to look, because of his search in a way to end the Fire Lord without killing. He reopened the idea of bending energy. So that's why I give him the W for it, and he also, at the end of Korra season 1, imparted that wisdom to her when he touched her on the temple and the chest. He let her know how to bend energy, and that served her substantially in the following seasons. So I think because he changed the game, that's why he gets my number 1.
Wow. So I guess mine is probably a good I'm glad I'm going kind of last, because I think mine is a mismatch of all of you guys won. So my number 5 is Yang Chen as well, for the same reasons that you said, Jaren. Like, I also like the fact that I guess she was such a dominant avatar that even after she passed, the treaties and the deals that she made with the spirit worlds and a lot of humans lasted for generations. So that's always a good thing when your lasting effect is way after your death. Number 4 for me will be Aang. Aang comes as my number 4.
Right.
I got to go with Jason on it. I tried to give credence that it is a 12-year-old boy, and I can't, the fear and anxiety that comes with it, because he was thrusted to have to be the avatar a lot sooner than most of them are, especially having to do something successful like stop a warlord. So I get the apprehension, but still he ran away from his duties, and because of that, so many people suffered. But on the rebound part of it, like, he made up for it in, fixing the issue, but then also his legacy after that with making Republic City and etc. Like, it's talked about, again, lasting effect that I can't ignore. My number 3 on this one then will go to actually Avatar Juan. I think first Avatar is just, it is what it is. We all hit it very easily, but he's just a dope avatar. My number 2 is Korra. I think we all hit it repeatedly. Korra went through a lot, but also not even just that Korra went through a lot. I think the biggest thing why I like Korra is because Korra is the first avatar that we know of, deal with what the new world is when it comes to non-benders being as almost just as powerful as benders. Like, the equality of non-benders versus benders is being that gap is closing very quickly. I mean, we just watched the mech destroy half of a city and Bendis couldn't do anything. Like, so the fact that her being an Avatar wasn't the domineering force that it was in all previous generations, that's a hard thing to have to deal with. So, and then my number one, I mean, Jason hit it on the head, man. Kiyoshi's she's a monster. The longest living Avatar of all time. I mean, Homegirl is just the truth. And if anybody doesn't know, it's a mini-series comic out with her. So if you don't believe me that she's the truth, read the series. Like, Kiyoshi is just a monster. She looks like 7 foot tall woman, you know, wearing a size 15, lived for like 300 years, like created her own island, had people worship her after her death. Groups were made after her death. And the simple fact that she was, which I think I remember, she was born of, I think, an airbender and an earthbender, I believe.
Her parents abandoned her.
Right, yeah. But I think it was found out that her mother was an airbender initially or something that had left the air nomads and did their own thing. So even that history, you were born from a situation that never happens. Like you never hear of air nomads leaving that and doing their own thing. So she's definitely my number one. Also, I just feel like if we were to go battle all of them were to throw hands, I feel like Yang Chen and Kiyoshi would be the hardest ones to probably defeat. Because I feel like Yang Chen would have probably pulled his Zaire and started pulling people's air because she don't give a damn. But I think again,
she would straight just murder you.
Right.
You're gonna die.
Roku did stop a volcano. I mean, Roku's nothing to fuck around with either.
Come on, man.
Yeah, but he also got stuck in the Avatar state too.
I was about to say, and he also let a guy like destroy all the world.
He did get punked. Because he didn't kill him.
You know,
he went to him and he beat his ass and said, "If you do it again, I'm coming for you." And then he held off. Sozin held off for a while. So,
but you know, Roku is. You ever heard the story about the guy in World War I that could have killed Hitler, but like didn't do it because he was like Hitler was like a mail carrier or something? That's Roku. He's the guy that should have shot Hitler then and never had to worry about World War II if that guy would have took care of business. But instead, yes, I know we're gonna get canceled now because I did a Hitler reference, and you can never do that on any platform, no matter what. So,
GOP loves it.
Yeah, right. Great list.